What if I told you the reason you're still not successful isn't because you're lazy, it's because your brain has secretly learned to reward you for doing nothing. Every single day you dream about becoming rich, starting that business, getting in shape, learning a new skill, changing your life. You imagine it so clearly. Sometimes it even feels real, but somehow, the moment it's time to actually start, you suddenly feel tired. You check your phone, watch one short video, then another, hours disappear. And at the end of the night, you hate yourself because deep down, you know you're capable of so much more. So, what's wrong? Why can some people take action, while others keep dreaming? Psychology has an answer. And once you understand it, you'll never look at motivation the same way again. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Most ambitious people aren't actually lazy. They're trapped. There's a huge difference. Lazy people don't usually care. They don't lose sleep over missed opportunities. They don't spend hours imagining a better future. They simply accept where they are. But ambitious people, they're different. They constantly imagine a better life, a better body, a better career, more freedom, more money, more happiness. They want all of it. The problem isn't dreaming. The problem is acting. Maybe this sounds familiar. You wake up feeling excited. Today is finally the day. You'll go to the gym, finish that project, start your business, read that book. Everything feels possible. Then you pick up your phone. Just for a minute. 40 minutes later, you're watching videos you never planned to watch, reading comments from strangers, scrolling without thinking. Now you feel guilty, so you tell yourself, I'll start after lunch. Lunch becomes another distraction. Now it's evening. The day feels ruined, so you tell yourself, tomorrow will be different. Then tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Eventually, you begin believing something dangerous. Maybe I'm just lazy, but that's not what's happening. Psychologists call this the intention-action gap. Your intentions are real. Your goals are real. But somewhere between planning and action, something blocks you. That something isn't your personality. It's your brain. And once you understand how your brain works, everything starts making sense. But here's where things become strange. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your future. It's actually trying to protect you, and that's exactly why you're stuck. Inside your head, there are two systems constantly competing. The first is your planning brain. Scientists call it the prefrontal cortex. This is the part that dreams, plans, imagines, creates goals. It can picture your future. It sees the successful version of you, the fit version, the confident version, the wealthy version without any effort. But there's another system, much older, much faster, much stronger, the limbic system. Its job isn't to make you successful. Its job is to keep you comfortable, safe, and alive. It doesn't care about your 5-year plan. It only cares about this moment. Whenever you sit down to do something difficult, write your first video, launch your business, go to the gym, study, apply for that job, your planning brain says, let's build our future. But your survival brain asks one question. Could this hurt? Could we fail? Could people judge us? Could this become uncomfortable? The moment the answer feels like yes, your brain activates its oldest survival strategy, avoid it. That's why you suddenly remember cleaning your room, checking notifications, watching one more video, making coffee, researching instead of starting. It feels random, but it isn't. Your brain has found an escape. And here's the dangerous part. Every time you escape, your brain rewards you. You feel relief. That relief releases dopamine, not because scrolling is good, but because your brain believes avoiding discomfort helped you survive. Now your brain learns something. Hard work equals stress. Avoidance equals relief. Repeat that enough times and avoidance becomes automatic. This isn't laziness, it's conditioning. Exactly the same way habits are built, you trained your brain, without even realizing it, but believe it or not. This still isn't the biggest reason ambitious people stay stuck. There's something even deeper, something that hides behind ambition itself, and once you see it, you'll understand why intelligent people often procrastinate more than everyone else. Here's the truth almost nobody tells you. Most ambitious people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they care too much. That sounds strange, but psychology proves it. You don't avoid work, you avoid disappointment. Think about your biggest dream. Maybe it's starting a YouTube channel, building a business, writing a book, getting the perfect body. Now imagine doing all the work, giving everything you have only to fail. That thought feels painful, doesn't it? Your brain notices that pain long before you even begin. So it creates the safest solution: don't start. Because as long as you never begin, your dream stays perfect inside your imagination. You're already successful. Your business could become huge. Your first video could go viral. Your book could become a bestseller. Nothing has gone wrong because nothing has happened. That's why planning feels so addictive. Planning is safe, research is safe, buying another course feels productive, watching another productivity video feels productive, making another schedule feels productive. But none of those things require risk, action does. Every real step gives reality permission to judge you, and your brain hates that. Psychologists call this self-handicapping. Instead of risking failure, people unconsciously delay action. So later, they can blame the lack of effort, instead of questioning their ability. It's easier to say, "I never really tried," than to discover, "I tried my hardest and it wasn't enough." That fear keeps millions of people trapped, not because they're incapable, but because they're protecting an identity. But wait, it gets even deeper. Because there's another invisible force controlling your decisions, and it's happening every single day without you noticing. Imagine two buttons. The first button gives you happiness right now. The second button might give you success months from now. Which one do you think your brain chooses? Almost always the first one. Psychologists call this temporal discounting. Your brain naturally values immediate rewards more than future rewards, even if the future reward is much bigger. That's why watching one funny video feels easier than building a business. Eating fast food feels easier than cooking healthy. Sleeping in feels easier than going to the gym. Your brain isn't thinking about 6 months from now. It's thinking about the next 30 seconds. Social media companies understand this perfectly. Every swipe, every notification, every like, every short video gives your brain a tiny dopamine reward. One reward after another soon. Real life starts feeling slow. Building a business doesn't give instant dopamine. Learning a skill doesn't. Going to the gym doesn't. Reading 10 pages doesn't. So compared to your phone, real progress feels boring. Not because it actually is, but because your brain has become used to constant stimulation. This is why ambitious people often feel exhausted before they've even started. Their attention has been trained to expect instant rewards. And real success doesn't work that way. Here's the saddest part. Every day you delay, your dream doesn't disappear. It waits quietly in the back of your mind. It follows you to work. It follows you before you sleep. It reminds you of the person you wanted to become. That's why procrastination hurts so much. It's not about wasting time. It's about watching your potential slowly collect dust. And deep down, you know it, but here's the good news. Everything you've seen so far can actually be reversed. Your brain learned these patterns, which means your brain can unlearn them too. The question is, how? Because the answer is probably the opposite of what you've been told your entire life. So now you know the problem. But knowing the problem doesn't change your life. Your brain doesn't change because you watched one psychology video. It changes because you repeat a different behavior again and again. Let's start with the biggest mistake. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation isn't a decision. It's an emotion, and emotions come and go. If you only work when you feel motivated, your future depends on your mood. Successful people understand something different. Action comes first, motivation comes second. Not the other way around. Think about the last time you cleaned your room. Before you started, you probably didn't feel excited. But after 10 minutes, it became easier. Why? Because action creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. Your brain rewards progress, not planning. Make your goal so small your brain can't argue with it. Don't tell yourself, I'm going to build a business. Tell yourself, I'm going to work for 5 minutes. Don't say, I'm writing a book. Say, I'm writing one sentence. Don't say, I'm going to the gym. Say, I'm putting on my shoes. It sounds ridiculous, but neuroscience shows starting is the hardest part. Once your brain realizes nothing dangerous happened, resistance becomes smaller. Every single time, change your environment before trying to change yourself. Willpower runs out, environment doesn't. If your phone is next to you, you'll eventually check it, not because you're weak, because your brain follows the easiest path. Put your phone in another room, remove distracting apps, prepare your workspace the night before. Make good habits easy, make bad habits inconvenient. Your environment is stronger than your intentions. Stop confusing learning with doing. This one hurts, because most ambitious people love learning: books, podcasts, productivity videos, business advice, motivational speeches. It all feels productive. But ask yourself, when was the last time you actually applied what you learned? Knowledge without action becomes entertainment at some point. You don't need another video, you need your first step. Expect bad days. You will miss workouts, you will skip work, you will procrastinate again. That's normal. The mistake isn't falling, the mistake is believing. One bad day destroyed everything. Psychologists call this the what the hell effect. You make one mistake, then convince yourself the whole week is ruined. Don't do that. Miss once, return tomorrow. That's how consistency is built. Stop attacking yourself every time you fail. Think about it. Has guilt ever made you consistent? Has shame ever made you productive? Probably not. Because shame creates stress. Stress creates avoidance. Avoidance creates more guilt. It's a loop. Break it. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to your best friend, firm but kind. That's not weakness, that's emotional intelligence. And emotionally intelligent people recover faster now. Here's the biggest mindset shift. You are not lazy. Read that again. You are not lazy. Lazy isn't your identity. It's a behavior. Behaviors can change. Your brain simply learned that avoiding discomfort feels safer than chasing growth. But every habit can be replaced, every pattern can be rewritten every day. You have two choices: strengthen the old brain or build a new one. The difference between successful people and everyone else usually isn't intelligence, it isn't talent, it isn't luck. It's repetition, tiny actions repeated until they become automatic. That's how confidence is built. Not before action, after action, before you leave. I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself 1 year from today. Nothing changed. You're still talking about the same dream, still making the same excuses, still saying, I'll start tomorrow. How would that feel? Now imagine something different. One tiny action today, another tomorrow, another next week. Nothing dramatic, just small steps. 1 year later, your entire life looks different. Not because you became a different person, because you finally became the person who started. So here's your challenge. The moment this video ends, don't open another app. Don't watch another video. Don't tell yourself, tomorrow, spend just 5 minutes on the goal you've been avoiding. 5 minutes, that's all. Because today, you're not trying to change your entire life. You're only proving to your brain that avoidance is no longer in charge. If this video changed the way you think, subscribe, because every week we uncover the hidden psychology behind human behavior. And before you go, leave a comment. What's the one dream you've been delaying? And what's the first 5-minute step you're taking today? Because your future doesn't begin tomorrow. It begins right now. See you in the next one.